Hey, what's good, everybody? What's good? Welcome to the show. It's Rutgers week. We're going to touch a little bit on Rutgers. We're going to touch on a few other things, the state of the season, how I'm feeling right now, and going forward with the games we got coming up. I'm excited as usual because it's game week, and we only got about 12 to 15 of these joints to really appreciate and cherish during the season. But I'm extra excited today, a little extra excited because this is the first podcast video that I'm doing with the collaboration of the great folks over at the Buckeye Scoop, y'all. Very, very, very excited about the opportunity to partner up with them to bring you more content on this great platform. So shout out to the Scoop. If you haven't subscribed to their YouTube channel or their podcast, make sure you do that immediately. All of my videos and podcasts will be available on the Scoop platforms going forward. So, let's get it. I'm excited and fired up. But let's talk about this Rutgers game. And listen, if you watch the media this week, interview the players, there wasn't much talk about Rutgers. Rutgers was an afterthought, as we know. That's a given. It's like, let's not play dumb. We all know what this is. Now, this is when the competitive stamina that Ryan Day has been preaching all off season and all season comes into play. You know, the mantra from the players has been, it's not about the other opponent, it's about us, right? So that's a psychological way to try to maintain focus regardless of who you're playing. It's sort of a strategy to try to, come against the letdown that is common among these young kids in college football. So with that said, we're going to destroy Rutgers. It's not going to be close. The question is, how clean will we be? Execution wise, penalty wise, discipline wise. Can we play a clean game, come out and knock them out just like we did Wisconsin? With all that energy and fire that we had, can we duplicate that? Best believe Ryan Day is pounding the table, say, okay, great, that was great against Wisconsin, but can you do it again? Can you do it again? This is what competitive stamina looks like. Is basically what Ryan Day is saying to his team. So, Greg Schiano's going to come in here. He's going to try to fire his kids up. He's going to just try to get them to compete to the highest level that they can. That's what he does. He's a great motivator. Anyone who's been around him has testified to that fact. So his kids are going to fight, and they're going to scratch and claw. They're going to come in here and try their best, but they're going to lose and they're going to get blown out. But one other thing, some of the players, and I could tell they've been watching film and the coach has been like, watch out for this, is remember the last time we played them, they had trick plays. They pulled some trick plays out and even put some points on the board with pulling these trick plays out. So I've heard a few of the players in the interviews talk about, well, we got to watch out for the trick plays. So they're all over that. So they won't be surprised this time. So what I'm hoping, and listen, this is what we're all hoping. We go out there, execute, quickly go up 28-0, and then get the 45-0, get the starters out there, get the backups in, get them flowing in, get McCord in, get him some nice throws, and even get in Devin Brown. You know what I mean? Like, this game is a get out there, show that you can come and execute against any opponent, no matter how boring they may be. Get in the game, execute, run your stuff, get better, get the backups in, stay healthy, and get ready for next week. That's it. That's the plan. And obviously, we want to look good doing it because you best believe the nation was on notice last week after we destroyed Wisconsin like we did on the national stage in the extra swaggy black unis, as CJ Stroud likes to say. So there's that. Pretty simple with Rutgers. I mean, there's no real intense breakdown of matchups. It is what it is, right? But check it out. So there's a lot of things going on right now, not only in college football, but specifically with Ohio State. And I'm going to touch on a little bit of both of that. So first and foremost, Jackson Smith-Njigba. I know there's some that are very nervous that he's going to follow the Nick Bosa plan and not work to come back, but just get ready for the draft. Not so fast, my friend. I don't agree with that notion. I think that's probably more fear based than anything. Um, and I get it, but I think Jackson Smith and Jigba really wants to get back. I do think he is going to come back. Thankfully, our receiving core is dope as it is, so that he's not pressured to come back too early. He literally can wait to the Penn State game to come back if he really wanted to, with the bye week coming up. We don't need him for Michigan State and Iowa, right? I mean, Iowa's a good defense, but come on. We don't need him for those games. We need him for the stretch run, which starts at Penn State. And that'll give him enough time to get his legs under him and really get it going for postseason and mainly scum going into the postseason. So, with that said, it is disappointing that Jackson Smith and Jigba is most likely knocked out of some of those preseason awards that he might have won as the best receiver in the country. So that's unfortunate. But I mean, it's much bigger fish to fry, right? I'm sure Jackson Smith and Jigba agrees with that, and so do we. Let's talk about the run game. All right. We need to talk about the run game because let's be honest, y'all. Last year, when we did have issues on offense, now the offense was not the issue overall. Clearly, we know it was the defense. However, when we did have issues with the offense, what was the core main issue that we had? It was the run game, right? It's the run game. It was the inability to pick up a first down at will, so to speak, in the run game or short yardage, running the ball in short yardage. So that was the issue. And of course, it was red zone issues, which those kind of go hand in hand. You got to be able to run the ball down in the red zone for obvious reasons. It's tighter windows and less space to throw the ball. So the run game this year has vastly improved so far. And we have to look at some of the reasons why. Now, bringing Justin Fry in from UCLA, he's not just the O-line coach. He's been doing a phenomenal job, clearly, from what we can see on film and what the players are saying. Side note, I thought it was interesting. Matt Jones, he was asked in the interview of how Justin Fry has helped him since he's came. And he said his technique, him and the other O-linemen, their technique has been improved since he's come. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily an indictment on Stud or not. Stud was a great coach, but the point is that he feels like their technique has improved. But not only that, Justin Fry brings the run game coordinator experience to the table, being able to come in and take a look and self-scout the O-line, what we were doing, and why we weren't moving guys off the ball and why there wasn't more continuity on the O-line, examining all of that. And he clearly has made an impact because we're seeing a much cleaner run game. We're seeing the O-line, fire off the ball better. We're seeing the O-line look like they know what they're doing. They know who their assignment is. They don't look lost out there, and they're opening up gaping holes. That Wisconsin game was ridiculous. The holes that were opened up by that O-line. So with that said, let's talk about Henderson and Mayan Williams. Now, I know some have been kind of down on Henderson because he just hasn't been popping 80-yard touchdowns every other play. But listen, you got a couple things. You got Mayan Williams, who is getting better and better and emerging, seeing the field better, being way more patient. He looks like he has more of a burst. He's taken a little more carries this year than Henderson is. I'm sorry. He's taking more carries than he did last year, which is taking away carries from Henderson. So, with running backs, the more carries you get, the more revved up you get, and then eventually you'll pop one. Now, Henderson looked really good against Wisconsin. He was seeing the field better, great burst, ran hard as he's been doing all year, but you could tell he's right. He's like an inch away from popping that big one. And I predict that he's probably going to have a couple of long touchdown runs this Saturday against Rutgers. It's right there. But both of them went over 100 yards, and they look really, really good. But some have been down on Henderson because he hasn't been, breaking off the big runs maybe. But I think it's only a matter of time. And I believe as we get closer and closer to the end of the season, we're going to see a super dynamic duo in that backfield. And the O-line is just getting started, y'all. The O-line is still gelling. They're still learning. They're still cleaning stuff up. So I think we're going to see a much better product, even compared to now at the end of the season. So I'm very, very excited about that, because if you look at the numbers, we're so balanced right now. I believe it was, what was it, 258 and 286 or something like that, rushing and passing. I got to go look at the numbers, but that's a very balanced game. And Ryan Day likes to run the ball, y'all. I know it doesn't seem like it to some of y'all because of the past couple years, but he wants to run the ball. Go back to 2019 with J.K. Dobbins. We ran the rock. He was a 2,000-yard rusher. And it wasn't just because he popped 80-yard runs every play. We ran the ball a lot because we could. And this year, we have that nucleus. We have that in place. So you best believe he's going to be seeking to keep that balance as much as possible. Because if we run the ball if we keep running the ball like we are, it's a wrap, y'all. Nobody's stopping this offense. I don't care who they are. All right? So, let's go on to the next thing I want to touch on here. Defensive improvement. All right, listen, y'all. I still see a lot of Buckeye fans complaining about the defense, right? Yes, they're not perfect. There's some things we can clean up. There's some big plays that have been given up. But compared to last year, y'all, are you serious? This year compared to last year is not even in the same picture. It's not even in the same stratosphere as far as what they're doing out there. Now, some will say, well, they don't have that many turnovers, or, they don't have that many sacks. True. Those numbers are lower than what we thought they may be, but give me third down stats over that any day. We were awful on third down last year. Awful. That was one of the most cringy, gut punchy things as a fan I had to deal with, is the fact that if a team had a third and short or a fourth and short, it was like, they about to pick this up. Dang. You know what I mean? Like, that's a horrible feeling to have. So if you take a look at the numbers this year compared to last year, and let me show y'all. Shout out to Trail Runner on the Ask the Insiders board on Buckeye Scoop. Great board. Make sure y'all check it out. Trail Runner, he hit us up with some nice stats to compare. So 2021, the first 4 games, the opponent possessions 50, defense 3 and outs 8, percentage of 3 and outs 16%. This is the Buckeye defense we're talking about last year, right? 2021. Compare that to 2022 now through 4 games. Opponent possessions 45, defense 3 and outs 21, percentage of 3 and outs 47%. Do you see that? 3 and outs compared 21 this year to 8 last year up until this point. That's a huge difference, y'all. And then, of course, the percentage going from 16% to 47%. So give me that over number of sacks or turnovers. All those things are great. I want those things. But get my defense off the field so we can get CJ Stroud and these boys back on the field. That's really the bottom line. And as these kids get more and more adapt to the system, the turnovers are going to come, y'all. They're going to come. This still is a new system. This defense is flying around and playing way better than they did last year. The sacks are going to come. The dam is going to break, y'all. So I'm not really worried about that. But listen, all I'm saying is this. Appreciate this defense that we have right now, y'all, because it was utter garbage last year up until this point. So, that's all I'm saying. Think about that. That's some perspective for you. All right, lastly, shout out to Parker Lewis, can't lose, the kicker we finally got from USC, approved through the NCAA goofy clearinghouse that took forever. I just wanted him to get cleared so I can finally say Parker Lewis can't lose. I'm showing my age a little bit probably, but whoever gets that reference, God bless you. But for those who were asking, I know there was some on my page who were saying we don't even need him. Why is it such a big deal? Here's why it's a big deal. Remember last year, Noah Ruggles, great field goal kicker, right? But he wasn't the best kickoff kicker. He struggled with kicking the ball out of the end zone when needed. Definitely need Parker Lewis in the fold. So listen, appreciate y'all watching. I love what I do. I love my Buckeyes. And listen, make sure you tell a friend. Tell them to tell a friend. Share the heck out of this. And let's get ready for this Rutgers bloodbath. And you make sure you go to Facebook. You can find my page on Facebook, Buckeye Sports Talk with B Moses on Facebook. Also, Buckeye Sports Talk with B Moses on IG. And then I'm B Moses 30, B Moses 30 on Twitter. All right. Make sure you hit me up, follow me on all of those sites. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.